You'll be fine.
Do the thing with the stuff. Give me a sec. All right. Do I want to do? Fuck! I'm not doing RTA. We're gonna watch this cutscene and then we're gonna start timing. We're gonna change up tradition. Fuck it. So yeah, this is a hero's tale. Any percent, it's gonna be basically incredibly boring. Bunch of cutscenes and bosses where nothing happens. So you know, it's a good time. This is like your 40-minute warning buffer to go get some actual snacks or some shit for 100%, which is an actual speedrun where actual things. Anywho, it's Nasty Nork. Yay, I guess. After this cutscene is over, I'm gonna beat his ass immediately. But until then, I'm gonna talk about the version. I'm playing on the PAL Xbox 360 thing-o, which is basically just, you know, emulation on the 360 for the original Xbox version of the game. I'm on PAL because I don't have $8 billion to put into an NTSC console. NTSC would be faster, but I am dumb. The reason I'm on Xbox specifically is because it has completely different collision mechanics and a lot of things compared to the PS2 version, which is super slow. And the GameCube version just has slower loads, despite being a more or less identical version to the Xbox version. It's just PS2 is super slow and shitty.
Gems are the life-draining stones that fuel Red's evil power.
And yes, this cutscene is very long. It's great fun.
And destroy all the dark gems. But first, go and see my
Couple more lines of dialogue to go, and then we can start timing.
Now I'll unlock.
Alright, if I can count down to I can count down to it. Fuck it.
Spyro.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. I started my own timer because, you know, I want splits, but yeah, a great idea. Anyway, I said I'm gonna go straight to Nasty Norg and beat his ass because I don't really care about the dark gems. In my opinion, in my honest professional opinion, the problem isn't the dark gems, it's the people behind the whole plot. So I'm just gonna make up my own, and just with Spyrothon tradition, I'm gonna fail this thing 100 times due to the many random things that can happen while doing this. Because this is extremely unintended stuff. Like, the game doesn't want you to do anything remotely like this, so it will try to stop you. Anywho, this is the goal of this trick. You go out of bounds for a second or two, get swim here, and then you just go to the boss. This is the general theme of this run. You start in a hub, you get swim, you go to the boss. Said it's not very exciting. There's not gonna be much gameplay until about 27 minutes into this, which is really questionable. Ooh. Here's another needlessly long cutscene, and we're gonna have the most boring boss fight ever. Do. And I can't even like do filler by explaining the story because fucking the professor already explained it. Damn it. Anywho, I can talk about the double jump skip. It's a fun thing about this game. You have an infinite jump. And generally you need double jump for that, but obviously I skipped double jump entirely. The specifics of how I did that are a bit questionable. I wouldn't know myself what exactly is the deal. Like, you have to just do the weird, like, turning thing in the air to keep getting upwards, because otherwise if you try to just, like, do it like this, you're not gonna go anywhere with it. You know? It's weird. It's the only spot in the game where it works, and thankfully it's a spot where you could use it for a major skip. Yeah, this boss is really a bunch of fucking nothing. I forgot to take damage on that, but that's okay. As I said, this run might as well be completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Stop laughing at me, kill me. This is basically the boss, you just take damage wherever you can. The reason I kill myself is because it actually does skip an entire attack at the start of the phase. It's actually very beneficial. You'd think like I lose a bunch of time from that death abuse, but no, the death abuse loses half a second. That half a second is easily made up with like all the skips I'm doing by taking damage. Like I actually calculated the time save you get from all this shit you do. It's enough to make damage boosting and death abusing the thing, but then just take damage here and there and just basically pick your damage boosts that you want to do and then never again. I'm skipping like a whole attack where like a bunch of rocks fall from the ceiling. Well, that's the normal attack where he just smacks the ground 3 times. Like this boss, as I said, it is very much a lot of nothing, because like even the attacks get skipped. There's like no variety. I'm just like waiting for the things where I can actually hit him. It's really the worst fucking boss in the game until I get to the second boss, which will then take that title. Forced. This is the only phase that's really any different, because you have like weird electric attacks. I don't even know how to take damage from that electricity. One easy way is to touch fucking mace, which instantly damages you. Otherwise, I don't really know how that electricity damages you, because you can like walk through it and whatever. It seems time-based, but I am really not sure. These, though, they will hit you and you will take damage. Anyway, since there's a butterfly here, you can just damage here, free, essentially. It saves 0.2 seconds or so every time you take damage from one of those. Anyway, do this for this attack. And that's Nasty Narc. What an exciting boss battle. I bet you thought that was the worst thing in the world. Well, every boss is this, and this category is nothing but bosses.
This time you really defeated me.
Love video games.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. I know that you've traveled far and overcome great obstacles in your quest to save me.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm on a quest to...
So as a reward, I will bestow you some of my electric energy. This will give you the ability to breathe electricity from now on.
Wow! Is this breath even stronger than my fire breath?
In some
Yeah,
ways, it is,
this
but it
bot
will
can't
take
really
the
do
enemies.
that much
Simply
about
can
it.
be used to activate switches and power machinery. Excludes non-electric
It
switches
happens.
and machinery that uses light gems, batteries not included.
Anyway, here's another long cutscene, and I bet you thought that the long cutscenes were over after that. Like, no, we're gonna this thing and nothing will happen, and then we're gonna watch another cutscene, then we're gonna teleport to watch another cutscene. Screen, essentially, by the way. On this platform is a must because it loads this section. You can actually escape Nasty Norc, like the boss fight entirely. I'm gonna get this so it autosaves. The game can crash at any time because the Xbox 360 emulation is questionable. You can escape the Nasty Norc boss fight if you have double jump. It's very hard, but you can do it. And if you get all the way over like that chasm, then you'll realize that like nothing there, because you need that platform to go across the chasm in order to trigger the load for this chunk. Anyway, I activated this cutscene a little bit early because it believes in there for some reason. I'm supposed to exit the cave. I don't know, if the game crashes here, then that autosave will be worthwhile. Otherwise, I just took an egg for no reason. The game can only really crash like in the first few seconds of this, or if this just never loads, like this vortex thing.
What? Defeated by that little...
But yeah, that's a cutscene followed by a loading screen, followed by an incredibly long cutscene. It's the longest bit of cutscenes in the game. This takes like a good fucking 4 minutes for all of this garbage to pass. Or it's like fucking 4 or 5 minutes. I don't even know.
As for you, this is the
It's terrible.
last time you will bring me bad news. Now, all of you, get out there and stop Spyro. I suspect he's on his way to this realm. And when he gets here, I'll have a little surprise waiting for him.
You know, after that cutscene, and you know, what better than another cutscene?
Yeah, right. Like being sucked down a giant drain.
Thankfully, after this cutscene, I can break form and I can finally say, there is a cutscene skip. Oh my god. Imagine that, like, oh my god, there's a skippable cutscene in any percent. Funnily enough, it's essentially the only cutscene that's skipped. Out of all the things that are directly in my path, it is the only cutscene that is actually skippable. In a way of speaking. But I still don't have double jump, so none of this is still an issue. But... oh shit. I hate this game. So I just dropped my jump. Hopefully I can die to this water here. Nope. We're gonna watch that again. Isn't this a fun video game? If it drops you a jump there, then you're shit out of luck. You just basically trust that the ice water, which that's ice water for some reason. Ask me why or how. The puddle of water there, it certainly doesn't freeze you when you go over it, but when you go under it, it will freeze you and kill you, and nobody actually has any idea why. Sadly, I didn't get to show that, because it's one of the more nonsensical things about this game. Like, they just put shit here and there, and it's just, why? The answer to that question is obviously it was made by Eurocom, the people behind Crash Bash, which they are masters of making video games that just make you question everything. Okay, shut up, Professor. Let's hope I don't have to watch that another fucking time, because I have better things to do with my life. At this point, I might as well turn off my splits, though. Okay. Camera, thank you. And this is why I needed this, because there's a water plane up there. And water planes in this game, they just sort of lead downwards by fucking 20 feet. Thank you, Eurocom. Otherwise, swimming air in this game would actually be very tough to pull off in a lot of places, but thankfully every single water plane has a ton of depth to it. Yeah, this boss is weird because, yeah, it's the only boss that just loads you in. Like, that's how you skip the cutscene. You just go into the boss without going through the actual door. Also, you can do this. It's a thing. It is the only cutscene that's really skipped, the introduction cutscene for this boss. It's weird. Also, these are immediately skipped by taking damage. There's a faster strat here, but it's not marathon safe. In fact, it's not even PB attempt safe, in my opinion. Maybe for any percent if I get into the grind for that at some point, which I won't, by the way. For like hundo, I never really do the strat because it's fucking dumb. You can take damage on 2 of these breath attacks instead of just 1, because with this laser thing, you can actually dive into this death water, and as the platform rises up, it actually lifts you out of the water before you like go into a death animation, and you survive it with 0 sparks. So you can take damage at no health, which makes a lot of sense. However, it's very, very unsafe because it is actually completely random in my honest onion. I have not found consistency with it despite using many different timings and then just like trying to use the same timing. Every time I was just like made very confused by the video game. But yeah, that's what the water does to you. At first it gives you like a damage animation and then the death animation. All death water does that to you except for, you know, ice water, which just freezes you and kills you immediately. Which is a noteworthy difference for technicality's sake. With death water like this, you can take damage from it and then go into the death animation, which if you swim onto a shop pad, you take damage and then you go into the death animation. And in the death animation, you cancel out of it by entering the shop. And that will give you zombie. With ice water, you cannot do that. It's a very strange difference for some reason. Yeah, as I said, this boss is the worst boss. You may have noticed that I'm doing a lot of nothing and every phase is the exact same. As the Nork at the last phase change, this boss won't. Every phase is the same exact thing. You do this 9 times. I love video games, by the way. Highly exciting video game action.
I can't believe I was defeated yet again by someone so small.
And yes, it's highly amusing, of course. Now I'm so far below, or not below, I'm so far down in this boss arena that you hear some electric sounds because like the fucking, there's some electric shit under the arena for some reason. I'm not sure if it's the lasers, it might be, it's some electric nonsense. And you're close enough to hear it because the game is incredibly well made or something. So, you know, look at this thing. You can see all of these little metal things are like full, like this thing is just like one flat texture, and it's like, why? Yeah, only 2 more hits and I'll be done with the worst boss. Hello? Thank you. Thank you. It's literally just this one here that they didn't fully model, I guess. It's fucking weird. All they had to do was copy paste everything. Anywho, you can do this. Actually, as you can see, I am in a swim state. The cutscene is now blurry because I am underwater, which is fun. And there is a reason for this other than swag. It does actually save time after the boss. After the boss, when you kill her, you spawn like in the middle of the platform, the middle of the arena. If you do the swim trick, however.
Thank you for releasing me. As a token of my gratitude, I will grant you the
I would expect this to put you in a swim state in the middle of the arena, but it doesn't. It does something way weirder and nonsensical. It actually puts you very close to the exit, in the water, underwater, so you can immediately go into a swim. Which is something I want to do, because I will not be going through the exit, because the cutscene is still there for the boss. The fact that she's dead as fuck, I can still go and, like, look at her intro cutscene. That hasn't gone anywhere. That was a... Well, you know, here it is. What happens when you fail the OOB? Because, yeah, there's weird underwater momentum stuff.
You must be Spyro.
It would seem like we're gonna remain behind schedule, so don't mind that.
Normally people I fight say I'm smaller than they
Remember when I was talking about the one cutscene we skip? Yeah, no. Thankfully this doesn't activate the boss again, that would be amazing.
You know, I spend all my time in the water, so I don't get to see a lot of
Can you shut up?
dragons.
Just, like, go away? Here's the quickest boss fight of all time. 3, 2, 1. She's gone. And yeah, let's actually get the fuck out of here. I'm probably like a good 5 minutes behind in a category where there's barely anything that can go wrong, but everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. Anyway, there's many benefits to this swim. One of the most obvious ones being the fact that you don't have to fucking watch that cutscene coming out of here. But also because, like, going through here, you kind of need double jump for some of these things. I still don't have that. Now, the third hub is going to be a little bit of a strange thing. It's the Icy Wilderness, which... that's completely frozen over. Where am I gonna get swim in air to get into the boss? I don't have double jumps, so how would I manage any of this? I didn't re-trigger the cutscene. I skipped it. I never watched it. It's something that just never goes away because they never thought they had any reason to remove the cutscene upon beating the boss. Because how would you not watch the cutscene and still beat the boss?
Yes, I suppose I could always release my other guardian. Aldred has quite a few tricks.
What kind of fucking strange magic is that?
Spyro a run for his money. Now, you big lumbering dollop, stand guard over there and make sure nobody gets past you. If you let me down, you know what will happen.
Yeah, well, that mammoth will not make an appearance.
Spyro, now here you are on the beautiful but
Because I am going to find a way directly into the boss. And that's because this game is the most incompetently programmed thing that I have ever seen. Now, remember, I never got double jump. Remember, I do not have double jump. I have never talked to the elder that teaches me double jump. Do not have it. Yeah. We're in the boss. For some completely random reason, entering Hub 3 will automatically give you 2 abilities. Only 2 abilities. It will give you double jump and pole spin, which are extremely conveniently the 2 abilities that are required to get through this hub. If you skipped those things and you wouldn't get them here, you would be absolutely fucked. The 80% speedrun would end here, because there would be no way to proceed in the red.
Am I supposed to be scared of you? I've spoken to the elders and from what I can
However,
make out,
it
you're
just gives you double
pointless
jump.
coward.
It just gives you pole spin. Pole spin is used to get out of this boss after you beat it. Like, why? Why are you given these things? It doesn't make any sense, because there should be no reason for the game to do that. But it does it anyway. Anyway, this is the most RNG dependent fight. Because there's one random thing that there's probably like a 50-50 shot for. And if I fail that 50-50 shot, I lose a minute. Or some shit. Anyway, he does 9 shots and then he summons these because he's an idiot. And then he just pushes the boxes into him because he's an idiot. And then if you hit him with the water breath, he will not take damage. Which is something that is useful. Because it completely stuns him. It does make it so you can't damage him. It does stun him. And makes him just not pay attention to anything. This is used, actually. Right now, in this phase. Now this is the RNG phase, where if he decides to be an asshole, I will lose a good amount of time. You're supposed to one cycle every single phase, and there's 3 phases. But this is the random one. He can fly up and avoid getting hit by the box. And doing that will give him enough time to break another box. And there's only 4 of these boxes, so... Anyway, in order to stop him from flying away, I need to keep breathing water onto him, because he can do that on every single box. Unless you stun him. Now, of course, I could start the fight, or not the fight, like the TNT thing, by stunning him with water, but like I'd rather take the RNG roll and see if I can do that, because that sounds super lame to just breathe water onto him every time. So I always take the first hit as RNG, and then I complain about RNG when I fail it. That's smart. Anyway, this is the most different phase by far, because like there's a bunch of completely different shit here. We have this electric nonsense attack, lasers. And then you just have the general shoot Spyro 9 times thing. And after this he spawns only 3 boxes, but now the RNG component is out of the game, so it's super easy to get the 1 cycle. Which means I'm gonna fail it basically, because I said that. Alright, here's 4 triples in a row, and then... Oh, fucking his tail! He can do that, because his tail... If the thing hits him early, which his tail will make happen, then yeah, great, awesome. It's because he was standing in a very fucking stupid way. He can turn in any direction, like left or right, to go break one of the boxes. Anyway, I can skip this electric thing. It only works on like a second attempt through this. You can't do it on the first for some reason. Nobody really understands why the hell that's a thing, but yeah. I'd love for there to be a way to skip the electric thing always, but nope, no fun allowed. This time I'm not gonna bother with the water, because I only need 2 hits like this.
You're stronger than I thought. Can't believe I underestimated you.
Well, looks like your power wasn't so infinite after all.
Spyro, thank you for releasing me. I will now enchant you with the power of Ice Breath.
Boy, Ice Breath. Ice Breath is the most useful of the breaths. Electric Breath is useless entirely. It's used like in the final boss, and that's pretty much it. Water Breath is very useful for the red 1 cycles. And Ice Breath kills enemies instantly. In 100% it's, you know, a lot more useful. Because you do need gems in 100%. In any percent, not quite. But yeah, here's me having pole spin despite never talking to Elder Magnus, who teaches you pole spin. But yeah, more about Ice Breath when it's relevant. In this category, it is not the most useful thing. Mostly because none of the breaths are very useful. All the breaths have different utility based on a bunch of shit. But in any percent, none of it matters really. Like water and electric have uses. Oh, fucking lag. Yeah, the game just sort of dies there, frame rate wise. And then the hub before we go. This is the final hub. This is the only one where I can't just swim directly into the boss, because it's a completely linear level rather than a proper hub. Like, there is no hub world here. There's 5 levels and they're completely just linear. I can get swim for the first half of this, but after that I'll enter a volcano where I'd be very hard pressed to actually find water.
I believe he has a secret underground lair somewhere on this realm. I'm going there in a while with my new gadget.
As you can maybe already see, I am literally looking at water right now.
Dig my way
which is a very good place to be. It's extremely convenient.
Meanwhile, see if you can find a way into the volcano.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another one of those bonks forcing me out of bounds. There's not much to talk about with these, which is why I didn't mention it with in Neptune. I want that camera. I keep getting that. And it's super hard to do that backwards because Spyro doesn't control properly. But like, yeah, you can just bonk through shit and it puts you out of bounds. It's a thing. There's not much to explain with that. It's just, it is what it is. And yeah. Let's see if I can find a way into the volcano, which is clearly visible from here. So I'm just gonna swim towards the volcano, which works surprisingly well. It's a pretty good waypoint. This is by far the most platforming you'll see in this run. It's really, in my opinion, the only platforming you see, because other hubs are just like skipping the boss, do boss, get out of boss. There's not much you do, but here's stuff actually kind of happening. Not really, because like the first level here, well, technically the first level is where you get swim in there. The second level is, it's a massive level. You swim to the end of it. You cut so many fucking corners with this. I thought it was, well, whatever. Just swim in this direction and it loads very slowly, but yeah, eventually it'll just pop up and you'll see a video game thing. Yeah, there it is. More in this direction. Hello? Oh, okay, I was wondering when it was gonna actually load. So you get over here, where the dark gem is. There's a little elevator here, but I don't really care. Rather than taking it, and you can activate all of the loading triggers in it. There's one, and now the level should be loaded. Yep. And here's a ball gadget. And in we go. I just went through 3 levels. Sadly, entering this means my swim is a forfeit. Forever, basically. There is no more swimming. There's no more water. There is water. I just can't actually do anything with it because it's death water. This is a bit random. You kind of have to hope for good cycles, which are pretty much just random. And I did get good cycles so far, but there's a thing here with this fireball. I'm probably gonna just stop here. Nah, it's good. If you can fucking see it falling down, then it's not gonna hit you, obviously. That's very good. Deathless ball gadget is always good, obviously. No shit. Anyway, I'm going to do something really dumb, because I can. Haha. Haha. There's a frame perfect trick where if you go into a glide as soon as you hit lava, then you can do lava walking. It's actually a single frame window for that. However, that platform is perfectly tuned, so if you just hold jump off of it, you will get it. Anyway, these birds are assholes, so... Yeah. I'm sparksless, so any enemy could just like end me, which would be fun. Gonna avoid this guy. I guess like killing these guys is pointless. Obviously. Get myself a fire bomb, which isn't gonna help me do anything. That's fine. Now I'm gonna go for a pretty much random thing and see if it kills me. There's gonna be a huge cave with platforms in here, and it's a lot of waiting on platforms. I don't agree with that, so I'm not gonna do any of it if I can manage. I'm gonna do a little bit of an infinite jump off of that, and the harder part of this, which is a little bit of an infinite jump off of this, which clearly never existed. So I'm not gonna just wait on the platforms, because being here forever trying for these, yeah, no. Not a fan of that thought. Now we're gonna have a boring bunch of fucking nothing excitement. Now skipping to this platform is super easy with the infinite jump nonsense, but it doesn't matter because of cycles, so I'm not gonna risk anything. So I'm just gonna wait for this to go all the way over there, because if I get over there early, I'm gonna have to do this waiting anyway, for this platform coming up right there, that thing. This essentially acts as a loading screen for Dark Mine, which is the level over yonder. And the reason I know it acts as a loading screen is if you do lava walking here, which is doable. I have done it. It's just that it doesn't really help you much. Anyway, skip to the end of the level by getting the 45 light gem secret area. No light gems, so you need to find a creative entry. And then just freeze everyone here, because I don't want them to fuck with what I'm about to do. Actually, it's the other side, isn't it? Anywho, you can do the lava walking in that thing, the big cave with the platforms, but there's a loading trigger here. It doesn't actually load anything. You have to go over the platforms in order to actually load things. Yeah, I had to backtrack to load shit, otherwise it would be cut off here. The chunk here wouldn't be loaded. Anyway, this is the last level. This is Red's laboratory. Hello, thank you. Hello. I'm gonna do this until it stops bonking, because it's my only way of getting up here. Now, Red's lab is a weird one. Infinite jumping here is kind of a pain in the dick. And, you know, all the walls look like they should be climbable, but they really aren't a lot of the time. There's also no water, and a lot of the rooms are 100% just like fully solid. So one has to wonder how the hell I'm gonna manage to find a way into the final boss from this level. Fuck's sake. Now I'm gonna attempt the thing here to skip this, just cut the corner. I'm gonna do this until it fucking works, because I don't really care. Run is dead, anyway. Yeah, it did. It's a minor time save, it's a few seconds. Hit this button twice to open this door, which is where Red would be. Normally you'd need all 40 dark gems in order to open up the barrier into his fight, but I don't really see why I'd do that. There is one bit of wall in this entire level that they forgot to make solid, and it happens to be here. As you can already see, Red's good and ready for his fight for some reason. And this trigger extends infinitely downwards, so... Thanks, Eurocom, for making everything extremely easy for us.
I don't know. I thought I could stop him after you had weakened him. But as soon as I got here, I was captured, locked in this lab. Red's forcing me to work on his new improved army. You know, better armor, extra brain capacity, that sort of thing. Oh, Spyro. I seem to have made things a lot worse.
Hey, don't worry. I'll have you out of here as soon as I...
How cozy. So, Spyro, have you returned
Oh
to find
boy.
me? And do you think I will...
Just like every boss, this is kind of a long-ish boss or some shit.
Yeah, whatever. You're not so much of a challenge.
I think it's the shortest one though, so yeah. But it's still way longer than it needs to be. It's got some interesting stuff to it though.
Get my way.
Like, the first two phases are very obvious to one cycle. There's minor strats, there's death abusing to spawn butterflies so I can damage boost through a lot of shit. And the final phase has an interesting trick to make it into a 2 cycle rather than an intended 3 cycle. Anyway, as soon as this boss fight starts, I'm gonna kill myself exactly 3 times, and this does save time, spawning the butterflies. Like, these deaths are a few seconds each. Every single death saves, like, 10 with the butterflies that get spawned. Okay, this is good. Bombs are like the worst thing in the entire universe, so... Anyway, you can see the butterfly there and all the way over here. I have to take damage from this thing. Thank you. And then just flame all these rockets that come up. You've got plenty of time to do this, but it is possible to fail if you just like do something retarded. The second phase is much harder. Get to him immediately to get him to do that. He waits for so long if you don't do that. Cause like he throws out the bombs and it then takes like fucking forever. Anyway. Fuck you. Oh, shit. This is very tight, so I'm gonna hope I managed it. The word is hope. And then damage. Hit this butterfly. We're in the final phase now. This is really annoying. I'm gonna test if there's an enemy under here by doing this. Yeah, there's an enemy. This is bad RNG, and that was terrible. Anyway, you can reset the enemy's animation by constantly using electric breath, which skips them reloading, and this actually does cause extra damage, quite a lot of it. But this time I can't damage boost because I had extremely good luck with one of those enemies. You can see how much time this would fucking save this skip. Hopefully I won't die, so I don't have to do the entire boss fight over again, because this is the one boss that resets the entire health if you die. And me dying is essentially going to be a random thing, so look forward to that. I certainly am. I'm once again gonna check if there's an enemy under here, but I just... Okay, good RNG. You want the button to spawn pretty much where you're already looking at, obviously. Anyway, get ready on time, fully. I have no idea what's going on, but all the enemies are refusing to shoot him, so don't get ready on time at all. Usually that wouldn't happen. You probably saw all the enemies shot him like twice. Compare that to the first phase you saw, where that's not at all what happened. Yeah, this boss is fucking weird, essentially. But now get ready on time, I guess. Because, like, there's no way he's surviving this one. It's like, how the fuck would he look at his fucking health? Okay, let's see here. No button. And it's on the other side. I'm just gonna wait for them to shoot me one more time, just because I don't want to die. And time now. Haha. I love saying time and then now, as if that's gonna make it easier for anyone.
Spyro, so hold on. I'll finish him off.
Well, it was a 41-48.
Yeah, that was garbage by now.
We're just gonna do a quick transition over to get ready for Hundo, and we'll be right back.
I love video games.